Hey everybody, this is Dylan, and thanks for watching Broken World. Today we are breaking down Westworld for Season 3, Episode 5. So bring your... I can't talk again today either. So bring yourselves back online and let's break it all down. This is Broken World. All right, so like I said, this is Dylan.
I'm Chris.
Hi, I'm Quin.
All right. Thanks for joining us today, whether you're new to the show or returning.
Hold on, wait. Are you trying to do my thing?
What?
What?
We're really
No.
in the middle of this?
I mean, are you trying to do my thing?
No, but you're trying to add a little flavor to it, add a little spice, you know?
Continue.
I'm start over. All right. Thanks for joining us today. Whether you're new to the show or returning, we're glad to have you along and hope you'll join us live on YouTube and Facebook every day, Monday at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon
Dang.
so you know when we drop a new video. Check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com.
And special notes, everybody.
Yeah. Hope you guys all had a happy Easter yesterday with your families and the people you were able to visit. So with the quarantine going on and stay at home or wherever you're at, please obey those laws and keep yourself and everybody else you know safe. So good job for you sticking with it. I know it's getting tough, but you can do it.
We believe in you.
We do.
Stay healthy. What else is there? Oh, that's the end of that. Anybody else have any special notes? Anybody else say anything else? Nothing?
No.
Well, if they're done with that, then it means it's time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you haven't left now, too late because it's time for the spoiler alert. Also, Westworld is rated for mature audiences, so anything that you've seen, heard, thought of, or any of that during the show will probably be repeated here. So, you have been warned.
I don't want to know what you thought when you saw the show's first mature things. But yeah. Yep. So yeah, we'll be saying and repeating stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so you can go into the episode intro from there.
Yeah. So from this, Quinn, do your thing. Okay. Episode 5. Genre. Just say no. Which
That's
I get
it.
what that means now.
Yeah. Like they straight up told us in like, what was it, episode 2, what genre was. And I was like, I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes I'm just
the
dense.
just say no. Oh, it's just say no to drugs.
Yep.
But this episode probably was my favorite episode that I've seen of all of Westworld.
Was or wasn't?
It was. And that's like including cowboys and samurais.
Wow. Of all Westworld?
All Westworld, this is my favorite episode.
Oh. Wow. What'd you do with your camera? Like you're cut off the screen a little bit.
I am in the background.
Yeah. Remember how yesterday it was jumping around? You jumped up in the corner again. I don't know what's up with it, but while he's doing that, Chris, do you want to go ahead and rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 10. 10, 10. I don't know. Just 10. Just 10. Like, it's just, I can't even think of anything to give it. It's just gods and machines. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 10 gods and machines.
Yeah. Hey, Quinn, don't worry about it. I'll move it while you're. There we go. I'll take care of it.
Okay. Because it's tripping on us on the live stream.
Yeah,
just a tad, but it's getting there. It's tripping. Do I go last? I think I go last on this one, don't I?
Oh, well, you'd already started.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, usually, but you'd already start your thought.
Okay. I'll go. I'm going to
usually go first on The Walking Dead, and I go first on this one, but we got mixed up.
It's all right. It's Monday. It's been a weird day. If y'all knew my day today, you'd be like, yeah, it's been a weird day. What was I saying? So I'm going to give it 11 top floor building explosions.
Wow.
And 11 car chases. But yeah. Like I said, it's not like we'll go into it in a second. I'll let you do your rating and then we'll
yeah, this was a great episode. I'm gonna say 9.5. I mean, I thought it was really great. Like right now, I guess I'm just getting ready and everything. I'm kind of out of it as far as like into the episode, which you wouldn't think because I'm here to talk about it. But just taking care of technical stuff, it's kind of pulled me out of it. But now the more I think about it, the more what you guys said, like, yeah, with the different genres going on and everything, it was super cool. 9.5. Let's see, what's something quirky? Heat-seeking missiles.
Yeah, that's great too. Like, is this the discussion now? Yes.
Yay.
Okay. From like the very beginning of the episode to from the moment where he stuck him in the neck with the drug to that very last moment where he was holding dude's guts and he was bleeding out on the beach. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is amazing. And for just about all of the episode, I forgot that two seasons ago they were in a theme park dealing with robot things, like trying to overthrow everything, and now it's like the best spy thriller that's not a spy thriller because it's something completely different, and I don't even know what to call this right now.
Well, it's
that's what you call it. You call it heartbreaking in a big mind of cluster. Can we say it? Can I say it? I don't even know.
I mean, they say it on the show. We can say it on here.
What?
Whoa, Quinn, I don't know what's up with your camera, but you're jumping all over the place.
Oh, no. I might have to start going back to my phone. This thing's starting to act up.
Yeah, that's all right. It's okay now. But yeah, man.
Moved it.
It's pretty awesome how it it's still tied in to Westworld with the themes and everything going on, but it's so different. It's so different in the best way possible.
And did y'all notice again? This is a little tiny thing that I noticed. I don't know why I keep noticing things in the background, and I keep saying to myself, I'm not going to bring them up, but then I end up bringing them up. At the very last scene when they were in the hangar about to get on the plane, in the far background, there was another rocket going off and they're trying to land.
I don't remember that part.
It was
I'll
like
take your
in
word
the
for it.
background. If I hadn't been looking in the background, I wouldn't have noticed it. But yeah, like little weird stuff like that is like crazy. Like in the teaser for last week, it looked like a scene of Dolores walking into a building and her little motorcycle on fire was driving behind her. It's on the street,
Even though it's totally exploded, right? There was one like passing by. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't hers, it was one just like it or something.
Yeah.
Dolores is the truth. All right, like there's just no stopping Dolores. Just stand out of her way, Bernard. Just stand back.
Yeah.
Just let her do what she's doing. Just I'm Team Dolores all day, every day. Let's do it. I'm not saying let's wipe out humanity, but let's wipe out humanity. Team Dolores all day. Let's do it.
I don't think she's trying to wipe out humanity at this point. She's just trying to set everybody free because I think she's realized when she got out there, like she realized that it wasn't what she thought it was. That the people were just as trapped as she was, and so she developed compassion, and now she has set them free in the same way that she wanted her and her fellow hosts to be free. That's the way I'm interpreting it, but I mean, I could be wrong. We still got 3 more episodes for Dolores to finish her master plan.
That's probably what's going on now, but she's going to see humans for what they really are. Wipe them out. I mean, I'm not saying humans are bad, but
her experiences with humans before she left the park was with people that could afford to go to the park, which were still at the time the elite of the elite could afford for that experience. So that's like, she's like, oh, all these people need to die. In which she's still like that, but people like, his name's not Aaron, Caleb, and the 2 people that were with them at the end of everything, they were, am I doing something crazy? Is my screen crazy again? No,
yeah, your screen's jumping around again.
But everything's been like Dolores, I feel, is, if I like had to put a lineman type on her, she's chaotic neutral, where Bernard is lawful good and Serac is
he's lawful evil.
He's lawful evil, but it's a weird type of lawful evil. It's like humanity under my thumb, but
I got a question. I need one part explained to me. All right, so when Serac had Liam's father, but whenever he took him to the plane crash site, he bashed his head in. What was that?
What do you mean?
Like, what was the plane?
The plane was, he had set it up because remember he said, "You didn't make it," and that's when he killed him. Like he's psychotic. Like he wanted to do it himself. He could have just had him on the plane when it crashed and been done with it, but no, he wanted to make a point, go out there, and I guess he did say something about a little space in between where you have some agency to make a different choice. Yeah, you have a little agency to make a different choice, but I guess he was trying to give him that opportunity, and he didn't take it, so he ended up killing him anyway.
Okay.
All right, here we are. All right, guys.
You doing just a voice?
So when he said you didn't make it, he killed him and made it seem like he died on a plane crash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was super cool that we did get to see the use of Dolores's contacts. That they function just like the glasses, only you can't see them. That's all that money she's into right now.
I just think it's kind of crazy. Everybody that was there from the beginning, it's almost like, where'd they go? Are we not going to see them again? Are they just gone and we had a slew of kind of like new characters?
Like, you mean people from the park?
Yeah.
Majority of them are gone, or they served their purpose and their time is done, or they made it to the promised land. And
we didn't see Charlotte, or the host Charlotte, or whoever, Dolores Charlotte. What are we calling her?
Oh, Charlotte? Yeah, just Charlotte. Yeah, we didn't see her this episode. It wasn't an episode for her. Because, it was just on the heels of everything that happened at the end of last episode and after that little big reveal. Because we also didn't see what happened to what's left of Maeve. But we know from the teaser for next episode, she's back in some capacity.
Yeah. So is this man Serac? Has he been in the sky the entire time?
The sky?
No.
No.
Ciroc.
No.
No,
I mean,
he was
might have
just
been
traveling.
Yeah, he might be on the plane like this whole episode, but he's been in other places and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm saying if I was somebody that was trying to kill him, I would be so annoyed. Like, so annoyed. Him and his little projections, so annoying.
Bro, he really do love Darth Sidious and people.
He does. So I think the jumping around is the poor quality on this side, just because just to explain to the audience what's going on. With everybody being at home right now, this is what was explained to me by the tech support. The bandwidth is just overcrowded, and so once somebody's been on for a while, or if it's pulling high bandwidth like we are with a live stream, then it'll try to regulate it and it'll pull it back way down. And sometimes it'll kick us off, and we've had issues over the past few weeks. But so yeah, Ciroc is a crazy madman. But what's awesome is that just like, like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, like the villain and the hero are basically different versions of the same person. They usually want the same thing, but they want it in different ways, and that's where their clash, their conflict comes in. Whereas Ciroc wants freedom for the human race, and Caleb and Dolores want freedom for their kind as well. And or they all want freedom for their kind, but they see different routes to that destination. And Ciroc is crazy, and he's defined by his cornerstone, which is human tragedy, man's inhumanity to man, is how they say it.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy, Caleb, was he having visions of like a memory?
It seems that way. So you want to get into the characters and let's kind of follow their story. So Caleb, if we follow Caleb's story, we get him and Dolores walking Liam Jr., and Liam Jr. is trying to bribe him and pay him off and, give him whatever. And and says that he knows who he is or something like that. And then Caleb, Liam Jr. puts on the glasses and looks at Caleb and sees something that he's like, you don't even know who you are. You're the worst of them. And he looks scared, and that kind of freaks Caleb freaks Caleb out. And he's like, what do you know about me? Who do you think I am? And then he ends up stabbing him with the drug. And that's when things get really trippy, and we follow it through. The different genres are film noir, and it's each one has like its own music set, and this is the theme from Vertigo. And then we get action with Ride of the Valkyrie from Apocalypse Now. Then we get romance, the theme from Love Story, a famous French film. Then like a dark comedy-ish, it's Night Clubbing by Iggy Pop from Trainspotting. And then horror, which is the theme from The Shining. And of course, Giggles told him to watch out for that last one, Reality.
Yeah.
Let's drop some truth on it right there.
It's like, Reality is the worst one? Like, oh, shoot. I see why everybody's always high. Yeah. No, it was... It seems like, this is my little slight super short theory on that. I think their little chips in their mouth could probably also repress memories as well. And his being a military grade chip, they might have found a way to get people through or over PTSD in some way by like firing impulses into the brain to like keep memories completely repressed and things like that.
It's very possible.
One of my theory that I had was that they just have everybody docile and just controlling them with the chips that's in the roof of their mouths. and like the life expectancies on people, like how they think that they're going to go out and the time frame they're going to do it. I think it's them like implicating it.
Yeah, it's kind of like they said they see the pattern of the person, and they kind of, you know, like they were saying a couple episodes ago when Caleb's suicide was revealed, that, you know, she said that basically by, like, they predict it, but then by not helping you get through it, that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Enabled it.
Like, yeah, they make it happen by not helping, you know, by not by not helping. So you were talking about the flashes. We get a flash of, like, it does look like memories. Caleb is strapped down onto something in like a white suit, and he's got these goggles on that are doing the same kind of flashes as like the glasses. And then we get looks like a memory of him in a war zone with the big gun that we have seen before. And almost looks like the writing on the side of the wall there is a sign. It almost looks like Czech or Russian, something to that effect. But the way that Liam looked at him, there's something about him, especially the way that Sirach was talking about how these outliers are a problem for the system, and they just kind of end up either sending them to war and killing them off that way, kind of thinning them out, or they try to edit them like he did his brother. He tried to edit his brother. Remember that? So it almost seems like Liam Jr. saw that Caleb was some sort of special outlier that is not doesn't jive with the system, and that's probably why Dolores has scooped him up for her team, because she has seen his profile as well, and she knows something about him as well. And it's probably not an accident that she recruited Caleb, even though he thinks it's all just kind of happening, you know. But if you have access to Rehoboam, then you know that nothing is an accident, because it's predicted every possible outcome and laid it out for you, and just kind of like guided the path in front of you by creating or not creating opportunities for you, and just kind of lit the path that way. But it looks like with you ever seen like images from like a Clockwork Orange, where he's got the little things in his eyes, holding his eyes wide open, and they're like trying to reprogram him like the CIA or something, and showing him all the images. It's almost like this. It's to me, it feels like that. Like they're trying to brainwash him and edit him, as Sirach put it, that he realized he could edit people. Remember, he was telling Liam Sr. that. And so I don't know if they were successful with that or not, because we don't know what ended up happening with his brother, but they were in those rooms that almost seemed like the same type of room as like James Delos, where they were trying to find fidelity with as a host. So it's almost like trying to program the people to fit into their mold type thing. I don't know, like loosely kind of the same thing, if you get what I'm saying.
Same thing, but the other side of it.
Right, yeah, with people, yeah. Trying to edit them and make them.
So it's like people with the money, they could afford basically having free will. And the ones that are on the lower end of the spectrum,
you're stuck in a loop.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're stuck in a loop, but I mean, you're not necessarily going to be have the same outcome as like Caleb, where they didn't recommend anything for him, and he was basically just, just kind of wrote him off. Not everybody's going to have that same type of profile, as long as they're, as long as they're compliant, you know what I mean, and they're able to be a cog in the system, and they're usable type thing, you know what I mean? And
I don't know if you can see my hand. So when Dolores showed everybody their stuff, and they were going through, and you got to see on people's whatever those things are, phones, I guess.
Yeah,
phones like the. Yeah. and the ones that had the little red blocks. The mom that had the daughter,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
suicide like 5 to 8 years.
Yeah, and one of them said something about like the show first signs of Alzheimer's or something like that.
Yeah, early onset.
She had she had no idea. And then you saw like the couple, like there was a couple different couples where they were like grabbing each other's phones and like, you know, like get away from me because they found out that there's just something that they're just it's almost like a thing where it's like it's like the sins of the father type thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you turn out to be your parents, but you're not your parents, but you've got that, like, it's almost like you're walking in the shadow of your father. You know what I mean? Because like, are you going to end up being like your father, whether that's good or bad, you know, and people kind of assume, oh, well, he's that type of person or that last name, or, you know, that like my last name is Law. It's like, oh, well, he's a Law. So he's going to be like this, you know, and they'll write you off or whatever, that type of thing, be a black sheep. And it's really, you know, it really becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like I know from personal experience, being, coming from a family, like, I mean, not to get too personal, but like, I mean, a family of people who dealt with drugs and jail and all that kind of stuff, and trying to break free from that and get away from that and deal with people's expectations of me personally, as I try to create another path for myself and not just do what my older siblings did or get in trouble or, you know what I mean? Or my father or whatever, you know? And it's almost like, you know, you kind of get discouraged because it's like, well, shoot, you know, I can't even be me because this predetermined, it really gets into predetermination, you know, like Calvinism and all that kind of stuff, where it's like, do you have a choice, or is this something that it's a loop that you're programmed to go into, and it's going to happen no matter what you do. You know, it really raises those theological type questions that are really deep and concerning, you know, and yeah, it's kind of messed up, and what's scary to me is like what made me think about it is like as far as like how it relates now is I know like right now I'm laid off, and so I'm you know putting in applications and looking for work in between until my job comes back and that kind of stuff. And so I'm putting in these applications, and some of them make you take this personality test. Have you ever had that before, where you put in an application and they make you take this test that determines what kind of person you are, and they write it off as like, oh, this is just to see, you know, blah, 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 blah. But if you are not, you know, but some of them will kind of let you see behind the curtain, and in the description, they'll say, you know, we're looking for this type of person, and we're looking for somebody that's reliable and not spontaneous. So if you answer the questions in a way that you're a spontaneous, fun, outgoing person and not somebody that's just going to be, you know, going along and do what they're told and be reliable and this and that, then they're not going to give you a second look. You know what I mean? It's almost like the same type of situation that Caleb experienced, where he couldn't get a job because he's this type of person. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, that's kind of freaky, you know, that we're kind of in that type of thing, you know, because everybody's like, you see it all over social media. It's like, oh, the Briggs-Myers test. And, you know, are you this type of person? Are you A type, or are you a B type? You know, like I've had friends or even like leadership that's like, oh, I'm an A type and you're a B type, and A types run the world. So you don't need to be in leadership type thing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what? Like, totally disregarding the flaws of their type personality, you know, and only focusing on the flaws of your type personality. And that tends to be kind of like human nature, whereas, you know, like we judge ourselves by our intentions, but we judge others by their actions. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? And I know this is getting real heady, but I mean, that's the kind of show that this is, you know, that makes you ask the big questions. And that's why I love it, because like, I mean, I come from a church background and I went to, you know, Bible school and all that kind of stuff. And I love studying theology, and I read the Bible, you know, cover to cover several times. And, you know, there's like, you know, when you get into like wondering about like John Wesley and Calvinism and Martin Luther and all these big questions, it's like where somebody had a different idea about the way people should live, and they were ostracized for their thoughts because they're an outlier, you know? And now, you know, they changed the world, and now that's like we have that choice because they suffered for that, you know. But nobody wants to be that person and suffer to make that change, you know. And some people, you know, like for example, oh shoot, I see his face. Who's the artist? Starry Night.
Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah, Van Gogh. Where I mean, like, his brother basically funded, or he started late in life. I think he started as a plumber, and then he decided to go into art. And his brother encouraged him and was his patron, you know, so that he could go to art school and go to Paris and learn the trade and everything. But he was constantly berated and told that he wasn't good and all this kind of stuff, and I think in his lifetime he sold one painting, and it was to his brother. But I mean, but now he is regarded as like one of the greats, you know, of all time. But he never got to see that happen in his lifetime, and that is, you know, that's kind of like, you know, it's like as like when you think about outliers and, you know, pay the price, and it's almost more beneficial to just put your head down and work and be quiet. You know what I mean? And that's the world we live in. And that's, you know, shows like this kind of raise that question is like, are you going to stand up for your independence and your freedom? And even though it's going to cost you, or you might just be the one that never, like Moses, that never enters the promised land, but you make it possible for somebody else. So yeah, so as Caleb's coming down off his trip, he straight up shoots Liam, and then he says that he's the one that sent him to war, and as Liam's dying, or he says that he did it, that Caleb did it, that Caleb killed his friend. And so there's probably some big reveals coming for Caleb in the next 3 episodes.
But so we know now Rehoboam wasn't the first. Solomon was the first one.
No, actually, remember he said he started with Saul, and then he went to David, and then he went to Solomon, and now they're on Rehoboam. And he said that, like Jonathan Nolan said that really wasn't a nod to the Bible outside of it being a nod to an old sci-fi story called Stand on Zanzibar, where there was a robot by a biblical king, by the name of a biblical king, and they kind of ran with that. But yeah, so apparently it's not supposed to have anything deeper than that, but maybe.
Well, I'll say this. We still on. Well, my question. All right, so those orbs that Dolores took before leaving Westworld, did she use all those to just make copies of herself?
Yeah, and speaking of, remember how we were trying to figure out a couple weeks ago, like who they are? So there was 5, right? So that we've got her, we've got Bernard, we've got Martin Connells, and then we've got Hale. But then she remade Hale's body, seemingly. I mean, that could be a misdirect, but it seems like there's one more, because in passing, the guy that was talking to Sirach was mentioning that there were these disturbances at these various locations, and he mentioned Tokyo or San Francisco and these different ones, and it seemed to be every place where one of these hosts were, and one that he mentioned was Berlin that we haven't seen yet. So I don't know if it seemed like just kind of like a passing throwaway line that maybe we weren't meant to catch, but of course, people caught it. So, I mean, that could be still another one we haven't seen yet.
And there's only 3 episodes left. So
yeah,
I'm going to see if Caleb he's on the path of dying, like he's dying or whatever. The Lord saves him and just puts Teddy in his body. I just feel like, Teddy should come back in some form or fashion.
Nah, he ain't ready. He ain't good for this world.
I don't know what is going on with these. Like the sizes of these screens keep jumping around weirdly. I don't know what's going on. I'm having to adjust it like on the fly. It's really weird, but it might. I don't think it's something's up. But either way, we're going to keep going. So yeah, I mean, I guess Bernard is something that Connell's kind of said something about Bernard being the one that was irreplaceable. And so, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, what do you think that means?
He's not just Bernard.
Well, I mean,
I think some of what's his name? Ford.
You think he's Ford?
No, I think some of Ford's like memories or consciousness might,
the Forge. Got you.
Yeah.
I think Dolores, when she was programming him to be like Arnold, it got to a point where she couldn't tell the difference. So she dumbed it down so that she could way back when. And like, I only remember this because like, I think I watched a clip of it the other day as well. But I think she might have super way out there, like made a copy or those exact settings of where he was exactly like Arnold, or knew exactly how to get that back. So he is Bernarnold. He's Barnold.
Yeah. because Connells did say something about him being, or was it Connells or what? Yeah. Bernard, he said something about living another person's life changes you, like living, being another person, and that was kind of like the same type of experience that Charlotte or that Hale is going through, where it's like she's in conflict with the other life that she's leading. And he, it looked like he was starting to actually get to Connells, because he looked like he was like kind of taking that, like he knew what he was talking about, but he still, fell in line and did exactly what Dolores asked. Even though he asked him, he was like, are you doing exactly what she wants you to do? You ever think about why? And but it seems like a hint that maybe Charlotte will be the one to diverge and be different.
Again, I mean, not again, but a copy of Dolores is the first one to come out and turn against Dolores or Serac. Well, really Dolores, because she works for Dolores, which would be ironic.
No, speaking of Serac, I don't think Serac is Serac. Like,
you don't think? What about Serac?
I don't think that's his real body.
You don't think so?
No, I really don't. He just seems like just what he wants. He seems too egotistical. Like, I just don't think that's his real body. Like, he's just always
He's French. But also, I think he can't really be around people too much because he doesn't have a strong immune system. Because they mentioned him and his brother have to take pills for radiation poisoning that they got when they were children and everything. So I don't think he has a real immune system. So that's probably why.
I also don't think that he is. Like, I feel like, he probably got rid of his original body, like after. Probably like after like experimenting on his brother, trying to change him and everything. I feel like he probably, like, if something was wrong with his brother, like that was probably genetic, it would make it, wrong with him, which would also make him a problem with the machine. And since he was, the creator of the machine, and he's trying to get rid of the problems, start within himself as well.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's a good theory that he is not healthy, that he is dealing with some sort of immune system issue, and it also him and his brother were also very, very happy to work in the background. So maybe they just don't like the spotlight, because before, I mean, they were letting Liam Sr. take all the glory, and he was kind of like the front man of the band, you know, and nobody knew why he existed. And I guess that's one reason why it was easy for Sirach to disappear, is because, you know, his city disappeared, and everybody he ever knew or knew about him, like he said, all the connections he ever had were gone in an instant outside of his brother, and that's all he ever had. So, I mean, maybe that's just, he just likes to be that kind of person too. But yeah, I do like the health issue being a factor. Oh, one other thing that Connell's showed Bernard is the inner journey's recovery, where William is. So next episode or two, we could see that. I mean, maybe that's where Bernard is going next, or where Dolores wants him to go. You know, like maybe she's leading his path as well. And it's very. I think also I think it's possible that that he maybe has the codes to the forge and everything in him, that like maybe that's where it is, because if she got captured, maybe, you know, that way she wouldn't have it with her if they happen to get to her. Does that make sense?
Yeah. She put it somewhere where they're not looking.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like this episode is really action-packed. There were some like little story elements, as it always is with everything moving forward, but for the most part, it just seemed like it was just boom, 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 shot in the gut.
Yeah. Because basically everybody is going through the same thing that the hosts went through in Westworld, and that's a huge reveal, and it kind of changes the entire Westworld universe as we know it.
It's just like everybody's becoming woke, so to speak. They're waking up.
Yeah, and that's a huge question right there, as far as, like, you know, he was saying, you know, maybe people don't need to know everything about themselves, and because maybe they won't like that, or maybe they're not ready to process that, or, you know, and like Caleb told Dolores, you know, maybe I'm not like everybody else. And Dolores was like, well, hey, welcome to the club. Me either. So we have yet to see what that means.
It showed like that people couldn't handle it. Some people were just like in shock and awe at their dooming, their imminent doom, or their loved one's imminent doom. Some people's like, nothing matters. You think you can control me? Well, here's a lock through this window.
Yeah, or even something that's not even that serious. Like one guy, the businessman looking guy, was looking, and it was saying like his friends were saying that he was an asshole, he was a jerk, he was hard to work with, and then like it didn't recommend certain things for him, you know, because he was not he didn't have social aptitude or whatever, and it was just like, I mean, even something as like small like that was just really shaken. You know, would really shake somebody up. You know, it's like, it's just, you know, it's kind of like the thing where it's like the truth will set you free, you know, and but it might not at first. You know, at first it's going to mess you up, but eventually it will set you free. You know, and so that leads to some people to say, you know, that you know, you don't want to know the truth about this thing because it will not set you free. But I mean, personally, I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, the truth will always set you free, but at first it's going to slap you in the face. You know?
Wasn't that the description for last week's episode?
Oh,
The truth won't always
yeah,
set you free or something like
truth,
that.
yeah, the truth won't always set you free, something like that. Even though that was it seems very fitting for this episode.
What if all of them are an episode behind, like on purpose?
And yeah, that would kind of fit in with the prediction theme, the Rehoboam theme. I keep putting the A in the wrong spot. It's Rehobo instead of Rehoboam. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, some very, very big themes and concepts explored in this episode. And, you know, I love these things because it's something, I mean, even as you're watching the characters become woke and learning these things about themselves, you're being shaken up as a viewer and having to think, what do I think about these things? You know, where do I stand on these issues? You know?
Yes.
And I love that.
I don't know what else they have planned for the rest of the season, but if it's more of what came out of this episode, I'm completely on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like just what's next? They're out of Westworld, they're into the real world, they're shaking things up. What's next?
Rockets keep taking off in the background.
Yeah. Elon Musk makes an appearance. I mean, they've had some pretty famous cameos before, so maybe that'll happen with the nod to Tesla or
Also,
SpaceX there.
I think there might be a bigger syndicate at work, and so Rock might not be the only head in this Hydra.
Yeah, that's a very good point because when she was looking at the file data and all like Sirach's story, we're basically seeing what Dolores is seeing through her contacts. You know, all these backstories of Sirach and everything. And as he's talking, I guess he's like giving Rehoboam his biography, and he's telling about his life, and he tells Rehoboam, I've secured it so that you will live on without me. So we might be dealing with like a completely, and even Liam Jr. said that the thing was so fast that they've lost track. So we might end up dealing with something that's like HAL 9000 from A Space Odyssey, where it is, it's completely, it has its own artificial intelligence and it's become awake as well. And that would maybe, where almost like what is it's like one of my favorite movies, iRobot, dealing with an iRobot situation where the humans and the hosts have to work to fight against Rehoboam, who has control over everything. It's like you thought that Dolores and Maeve had control, but just wait until Rehoboam steps in and has control. I mean, that could be the big bad for next season.
Rehoboam.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just spitting it.
I could definitely see that.
Spitfire. So you want to get into next on Westworld and see what's up with that? So the next episode title is Decoherence. And the description is, do a lot of people tell you that you need therapy?
Unfortunately.
I love these titles.
Huh.
Cool. I think Gary V is writing these for them.
When I watch next week's episode, I'm definitely going to be looking to see if Just Say No fits into this perfectly.
Yeah. There's so many different levels, like it's interwoven. That's why I love the genius of Jonathan Nolan's writing. It's like on so many layers. Onions have layers. I love it. So from the teaser, it looks like we're getting another conflict, another interaction between Maeve and Dolores. But for whatever reason, Dolores looks like she is back in, like she's completely nude, and talking to Maeve. Like somehow maybe they've captured her, and she is, like back in Westworld where they would have her sit on the stool and go into what kind of mode or whatever?
Analysis.
Yeah, analysis. And then they would ask her the questions, would you lie to me? Are you lying to me now? And all that kind of stuff. Except that they're having a conversation, and Maeve says something about, nobody should have that much control. And Dolores kind of gets her back and is like, says the person who can literally control us with her brain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some big conflicts coming up soon, and hopefully we get to see that scene where she's dragging the samurai sword and making the sparks, because I want to see that showdown. And it might not even be, well, I think it's her from the teaser, but come to think of it, it might even be Kato.
Sato?
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready for next week's episode. Let's get it.
There was one thing I wanted to mention. The watch he was wearing.
Yeah. And even behind him on the wall, it was kind of showing the same thing.
I think so. My theory of what it is that watch and that symbol wherever he has it, because he said like it's that little where the sun and moon like meet, and there's that little perfect sphere of white where he tries to always have it, so seems like he can act freely and do whatever he wants. But at the end of it, last time we see him, he looks at his watch and like it's splitting, and you see that real giant shot of black coming out of one side like it's about to split.
Yeah, like the eclipse is moving, and that's been a common theme even in the opening credits and stuff with the eclipse and the singularity. You know what I mean? It's different symbols for that symbolism. If you ever seen Boondock Saints, but yeah. And I thought it was cool how when he was sitting at his desk, and it was like all kind of chaos around, but there was an open space in the bottom, and he kind of leaned back, and his head fit right in that spot, and it was almost like a halo on him, or even like to represent that it was like connected to him type thing. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm starting to looking for more things like that, more symbolism. But yeah, so it's just fun to watch it and enjoy it. I try to watch it multiple times so I can catch more stuff. But it's so much fun to get caught up in it, man. Such a good show.
Was there anything else in the next week's episode trailer?
Not
that I remember. I think I remember seeing Caleb. I mean, if we saw Dolores, of course, we'll see Caleb. But we know from the other teasers that there will be a point where Dolores is seemingly defeated, and she's got her arm chopped off, and she's crawling. And then there's that other scene where she is in not one of the new bodies, but the old metal bodies, and she's got just like the head and bust situation going on, and the rest is metal. And then she's kind of pulling on her hand skin like a glove type thing. And Caleb is sitting with her in like almost like a shipping container or something like that. But yeah, excellent episode. Excellent episode. Can I retroactively go back and give it a 10 instead of a 9.5?
Yes, because it's perfect. Jonathan Nolan's a genius.
Agreed. And his wife, Lisa Joy, as well. Like she's showrunner, but yeah, I didn't know about her until this show, but yeah, she's killing it. Thanks for joining us. We hope that you guys will join us live on YouTube next and Facebook Live every Monday night at 10 p.m. when there's a new episode, Central Standard Time. And hopefully we'll get, as time goes on, the live stream will be up in the air based on our whatever bandwidth we can get at the moment. But I'm doing the best I can. So if you bear with us, we'd really appreciate it. The conversation will be good, even though it might be hard to look at with everything jumping around or whatever. And if we get kicked off, then we'll just upload the entire video later. But also, please like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop a new video. And like and subscribe does help a lot. Even if you don't want to subscribe, please hit the thumb and let the algorithm know that that this is a good video. Do us a favor, a personal favor, even though you don't know us. Just do us a kindness, sir. And and check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com. And this is Dylan.
I'm Chris.
This is Tiny Tim.
And we'll see you next time. Peace. Long one.